You should be able to just click play and you should see me live at the moment. Apologies for the delay, everyone. We now have 10 people watching Jesse. So I'm going to have to jump off and I might just make this up. That's it. Okay. Yep. Hi everyone, my most sincere apologies for a lot of technical delays this morning. I hope everyone is doing a little bit better than us this morning. First off, thank you for coming. I know that we've got about 15 people already on the chat and there was about 25 who were in the original section. So first off, I want to say thank you for being here, and I know that we'll be able to teach you guys a thing or two about social media. On the page at the moment, I hope that you guys can all see a bit of a slideshow stating social media. So this is where we're really going to start today. And it's all about online communities. When we're talking about social media, it's not just Facebook. It's pretty much anything online that involves open communication. What we need to understand here is that we're really talking about anything that involves multiple people in the online space and any sense of community. So you really need to not think about Facebook. It needs to be every form of social media, including something like Gumtree, which is quite literally a form of social media. It's people connecting in an open forum. When it comes to what we're doing on social media, it's really become prevalent that it's essential to every kind of business. And it's really something that everyone needs to know. I'm going to switch back to my screen here when we talk about some statistics. And statistics are a big deal on social media, especially when you're considering that there's 15 million people on Facebook and another 14 million on YouTube, 2.8 on Twitter, and 4 million on LinkedIn. There's also around 5 million on Instagram and Snapchat as well, which when you think about those numbers, it's just huge. And it's no longer a matter of this being, you know, your kids online or family, friends. It's everyone uses social media, and it's a huge global trend of increasing in participation. For instance, Snapchat has 50% growth year on year, and Instagram is growing at about 10 to 12% per year, which means you're talking about massive, massive numbers. And we really need to be able to understand what people are doing on those channels, and more importantly, what you as a business needs to know and do on these channels. when it comes to the legality around what you can do, I'm just going to jump back into our slides here. And it's important to know that the ACCC also plays in this area. They're not afraid to prosecute even. Valve, an online gaming company, was prosecuted for false and misleading information. And while most businesses won't ever have this happen, it's important to remember that the same rules and regulations apply online as they do in the everyday life, in the everyday part of the community. So pretty much it can be summarized into: don't make misleading claims on social media. Don't allow others to make misleading claims in comments. So that means if an employee or even a member of the general public says that you provide a service or have a discount or offer that isn't true, you do actually need to take action and minimize that risk. So that's the key word there, is minimizing risk. And as long as you do take the actions to do so, I'm sure you'll be fine. Additionally, it's important to point out that you're supposed to also monitor your social media pages and the information that goes on your social media accounts. For instance, if there's profanities on your account, you can also be caught liable. If the people are abusing others or really they're offending, that's your responsibility as a business to clean up those kind of pages. And for HR managers, for me, it really needs to be pushed through the business from multiple channels. So when something like this happens with an employee, or they might abuse someone or might get abused online, it's important to remember that this can also be a legal issue. And it's also a matter of responding to false and misleading, or really anything online that you know is just not true to your business. Additionally, the ACCC does have a little bit of enforcement within social media. It's not a huge amount, but it's something to remember that they have been known to come down. Additionally, if something does happen in a misleading light, you do need to offer your customers a refund. So when it comes to HR and individuals in HR, what approach should you be taking to social media? I've kind of summarized it down into about 10 dot points: a purpose of a social media policy, the scope of what it includes, personal use, discussing business, and so on. So when it comes to the purpose, when you're writing up a social media policy, all you need to know and all you need to communicate is the why of it existing. It's an important issue in this day and age, in a trend where millions upon millions of people are using social media. You should also note the scope of the policy, what it applies to, plus the understanding of how it can actually help your business and personal relations, because social is no longer a space in which you only conduct personal affairs. People build their business houses out of social media. There's millions of people who are influencers, who are selling not only branding through their personal accounts, but also millions of businesses around the world who are using social media to create a return on investment, which is very important to know. Additionally, in here, we have a note about personal use of social media. When you note this in your social media policy, you should be clear that you're not trying to take away personal freedom. You're not trying to take away expression. It's more about how a person online should be representing your business. So it's more setting a guideline around, if you're talking about your own business or your employer on social, you should be very clear. There should be rules in place, and you should speak in the correct tone, in the correct way to express the truth about the business you represent. Additionally, it's important to remind employees that we know they're on social media, and it's very, very easy to find the information they're posting and find them on social media. Even when they start playing with privacy, historically, it's very easy to find people. When it comes to discussing business, this needs to be a decision your team makes. Generally, we advise establishing, is it okay to talk about your business, your employer on social media? If it is, that's fine. So just make an outline of what you can say. Think about who these individuals are going to be talking to, what parts of the business or service they might be talking about, and how you can provide them with the tools to talk about those subjects accurately. And when they are talking about your business on behalf of the company, and that's fine, just make sure they adhere to the underlying values of your business. Make sure they're true to what you're saying and what you want to do and provide. Additionally, when we're talking about privacy and security, social media can be used against a business. It can be used in scams. Global organizations have lost the entire email address databases because people have been fooled online into handing over information. It's extraordinarily easy for someone to create a fake social media account that looks like someone from work, or even looks like someone you know who's a personal friend or family member. So it's important to remind employees that they can be taken advantage of if they don't watch out. Additionally, privacy is becoming less and less in this day and age, and just make sure people are aware it's not just your business that's facing these global issues, it's everyone's business. And finally, when it comes to social media policies, we really advise being clear about what happens if an employee breaches a policy. The main instances where we've seen this happen is around talking incorrectly to audience members, or even defending your business. So that's actually a huge one, is if someone loves their work, loves their employee, and they see it coming under fire, they'll want to jump up and defend their business. But that should be something that's either held from a marketing department's point of view or public relations. Or if it's a small business, talk to your boss, talk to the office, bring everyone together and be honest about problems that could arise, and make sure you have a policy in place that allows people to know if something disastrous happens, this is what we'll be doing. This is how we'll be dealing with that problem. And while this document, a full social media policy, isn't necessarily something every business needs, we truly believe that creating a one-page social media rules cheat sheet is the way to go. It should very clearly outline why you have the rules, and that's simply stating, look, everyone's on social media. We know that everyone's there, and it's used for communication every day, not only as individuals, but as a business. And that said, you should be exposing and you should be expressing the values of the business and the underlying purpose. If I am a fashion retailer, your purpose is to help people become more fashionable, to be happy about what they're purchasing online. And if you're ever talking about those kind of subjects on social media on behalf of a business, you should adhere to the values of the business. We represent a desire to expose yourself as a true individual, as someone who loves fashion, for instance. Additionally, you should really point out what the basic do's and don'ts are on social media. Every single website online has a good list of do's and don'ts. Do be truthful about what you're saying. Don't mislead or don't attack, and don't feed trolls. I know that's a big one that people often fall into the mistake of doing, is they see something wrong online and they try and defend themselves, or they try and push against the community or some global trend, and it often backfires. And finally, creating a frequently asked questions document is something that will save everyone time. I highly advise creating this document as a Google Doc online, so every employee can actually access this. This would be the most basic questions that come into a page. Do you accept returns? And here is the exact answer. And that way, anybody who needs to answer these questions has the ability to. When we're sorry to switch back so suddenly, but when we're talking about social, it's just important to remember that it's no longer something that's just fun. It is a business function, and it's something that has the ability to do a lot. I've just opened up the questions and answers, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to send them through, and I'll do my best to answer as many as I can. But in this day and age, I think the most important thing to remember is your social identity and what you do online is now part of your business. And it's something that you need to remember, need to act on, and have to adhere to the rules and regulations. And the ACCC does have those rules and regulations, and they're very clearly outlined. I'll be able to send a link through to everyone now about those rules and regulations, and it's pretty clear that it's time to act on some of these things. And I mean, we need to know. Hang on 1 second while I just jump up a link. So I've just linked everyone the ACCC social media guidelines. It's a pretty easy guideline in the sense that it's something that you should know already. It's something that everyone has the ability to understand with great ease. Don't mislead people. It's the truth of the matter, because you really can be held liable. And that extends extensively to your individual employees. You need to make them aware that social media isn't just fun anymore. If you talk about the business, you need to do it in a clear, precise way, because you can be held liable as a business. Just jumping back into the questions right now. It looks like we haven't had any questions come through yet. Oh, here's one. So when it comes to individuals posting on behalf of a company, do you need to respond to those individuals? Not necessarily. It's something that you can do just on the phone. You can give them a call if they're an employee and just let them know, hey, please look at our social media policy. If you remember what we talked about, you don't necessarily have to respond to everybody online. We greatly appreciate you responding on our behalf, but just remember that we need to be true to our business. The underlying purpose of our business is to serve customers and to help them. Let's use the fashion example again, find clothing or items that really make them happy and get them excited about wearing something new. So that's pretty much the answer there. Is I honestly believe encouraging employees to be advocates of your business is the best move. I will follow up this webinar with the slides we went through, as well as a few little factoids about what we recommend doing when it comes to social media. I just want to say thank you for everyone for joining, and thank you to the NRA for putting this together. We are Hello Social, so we're Australia's leading social media agency. We've been around for about 4 years, and we represent some massive companies, I suppose. So if you guys have any questions or concerns about social media, or you're looking to expand into social, please send us an email, hello@hellosocial.com.au. Again, that email is hello@hellosocial.com.au. I will endeavour to respond to a few more questions in the coming days. Have a lovely time. Bye.